All right, peace, everybody. Getting situated. What's going on, bro? Peace to you. Give people a chance to roll on up in here. Got a pretty deep topic. Excuse me. Oh yeah, that Ali picture dope, man. One of the greatest of all time, right there, man. Give people about another minute. Scroll in, then we're gonna get the building on today's topic. Hope everybody is enjoying the Saturday thus far. It's pretty hot where I'm at. Peace. What's going on? What's going on, sexy monkey? What's going on, bro? Oh, trust me. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the topic at hand. What's going on, Evan King? Oh yeah, that rain. We've been getting some of that too. All right, peace, everybody. I'm gonna get right into the topic. Topic of the day is a question: does being an introvert protect your peace? First and foremost, I would like to ask everybody that's listening, how do you interpret what an introvert is? What does being introverted mean to you? So I'm gonna give you all some time to just type the answer. I just want to get some different perspectives because I may view introvert as one way, you may view it in a different light. So I want to make sure we're on a similar page in regards to how we define introversion and being introverted. So I just want to know how some of y'all see what being an introvert means. Guarded. I like that. I would consider myself an introvert, and I am definitely like guarded. So I can see that. Yeah, guarded is a pretty solid definition for it. Peace. Yeah, isolation. That's a good one. I'm a touch on that. Yeah, not being around a bunch of people. Okay, all right. Just being to self-guarded and not being a part of norms. Yep. Not loud and brash. I'm gonna say one word that I haven't seen, but I mean it's similar though to some of the other words. I like the word selective. Like I would consider myself an introvert, but like I'm very selective though with who I communicate with. So I mean that can be considered guarded, but I'm very selective because if I get into the right environment, then I appear to be an extrovert. So I'm real selective with who I communicate with. Hey, Mo Shade, I like that one. I like that one. For me, it means someone who goes inside themselves for replenishment as opposed to seeking that from others. I like that. That's another thing, Sexy Monkey. I speak only when I have something worth saying. I agree with that. I think that's a misunderstood quality of being an introvert. And I want to touch on that because when I talked about being selective, like that's what I mean. Like I only speak when I have something important to say. I only speak when I seek to add value to like someone's life or like the conversation. So 9 times out of 10, I'm that person. I would be in that room. Let's say if it's 10 people in that room and just 9, everybody is just chatting, talking about whatever it is that they're talking about. I would be the one that would be observing. I would be quiet until I hear something that I have to correct. I'm that dude. So I'm not the one that's out here throwing my opinions out there because I really don't care how people perceive my opinions. But if I hear something that's incorrect, I step in and I correct it and I go back to being observant. Sometimes I may let the error slide, but for the most part, if I hear something that doesn't sit well with me, I step in, I correct the error, and I go back to my observant ways. So I'm real big on not wasting that energy. I'm real big on like speaking when you have something important to say or adding value to the conversation. Like if it's just mindless chatter, like I really don't like wasting that energy. People do not understand that energy is required in order for you to be sociable. So I don't know about you all, but it is very draining when I have to socialize with people consistently. Like that requires a lot of energy. Like I get depleted when I'm in an environment where I have to continuously converse with people. Like it drains me. Like if I'm in an environment where I have to be sociable, it drains me, man. That's just energy being zapped out of me. And I don't like that useless energy, especially if I'm not too fond of the environment and the people in the environment. So I feel like I'm wasting just my energy and I don't like that. That's why it drains me rather quickly. Yeah, full blown observer. See, I was originally at that point, but I'm getting better at teaching. So sometimes when I hear the wrong thing, I'm like, let me step in and correct that, then jump back out and go back to being observant. I think what leads somebody to being an introvert, I really feel like it could be a combination of things. It depends on the person. I know on my end, I just was never too fond of dealing with too many people. It's just like it seemed like every time I got around a lot of people, bad things happened. So I always was a fan of like keeping my circle small. Like it seemed like the more I socialized with different people, the more things went wrong. And the more opportunities you have for people letting you down. So I was never too fond of that. Yeah, though, yeah. When you working in the corporate world, man, that's what I'm dealing with now. Like I work at a bank, so I have to socialize all the time. There are certain crowd of people I stay away from. The ambivert, but there are certain crowd of people that I stay away from because I can't tolerate foolish behaviors, especially those who are nosy. Yeah, see, exactly. Like I'm really selective. Yeah, a lot of people have been traumatized into being an introvert. I won't say that that's my case. Like I've just never been too fond of like a lot of people. Like after a while, like I just get tired of just being around people. It just drains me. Yep, being an introvert. Yep, protecting the space. That's how I have come to view being introverted. It's protecting my space, like embracing like my energy and things of that nature. I honestly feel like it's overrated to be like a real sociable individual. I feel like a lot of those individuals are like hiding something. Like when you just that person that's in the room that just will not stop talking, like I don't feel like that's the person that's at the most peace in their life. A lot of people look at the introvert, and since we sitting there being all quiet and whatnot, they think that something is wrong and something is up. I feel like the introvert is at peace the most in the room. Have you ever been an extrovert? Nah, bro, I've never really been an extrovert. I've always considered myself like an introvert, kind of socially awkward type deal. And then it also too depends on the environment. Like I said, sometimes like I'm real selective. So in some environments, I may appear to be extroverted. It just depends on the environment, the topic of the conversation. If I feel like it's worth my time, then you may not be able to shut me up if it's a topic that I'm passionate about. But for the most part, I don't really care to add my 2 cents in a lot of conversations because a lot of people have mindless conversations. And I just don't care to be a part of a lot of that nonsense, a lot of gossip, a lot of chatter, man. It's just like a waste of energy. And even when you study like Buddhism, they talk about right speech, like basically speaking when it's important and stay away from like the gossip and mindless chatter. Like I've embraced that philosophy before I even came in contact with it. Yeah, it could definitely be hereditary. And with it being hereditary, it could be like something that you witnessed. Like maybe your mother was like, you know, an introvert and you noticed it and you just pretty much adapted it based off of what you saw. But like I said, on my end, it's a lot. Yes, the louder the person, the more talkative the person. When you listen to that person, you will literally find out that they are saying absolutely nothing of importance. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if somebody in the room is just constantly talking, they are saying absolutely nothing. I mean, that is an actual fact. Like, that's just not even a cliche saying anymore. That's just an actual fact. No, Mac Dad, my sign would be a Scorpio. Hey, that's one of my favorite quotes. Yeah, that name, like the name fits that. Yeah, the name fits that. So with that being said, I'm gonna dive into the question. Like, I just want to get you all's opinion on the question of the stream. Does being an introvert protect your peace? Do you feel like being introverted protects your peace? If so, why? And if you feel like it doesn't, why not? My answer would be yes, and I would dive into why I believe so in a minute after I see some of you all's answer. But do you feel like being an introvert can protect your peace? Or do you feel like it protects your peace? Go ahead, give y'all some time. Type them answers. All right, sexy monkey. So you said yes. So why do you feel like it protects your peace? Because I definitely agree with it. I would definitely say it protects my peace when I activate it. My peace is highly disturbed when I'm like forced to be overly sociable. Like, and I really do not like that. Yeah, save me from unnecessary drama, fights, going to jail. Yep. Definitely can save you from unnecessary drama. Because you start to get that attitude like you really just don't care about things, man. I mean, it can come off harsh to some people, but it's protective on our ends. At least the way I see it, it's protective. All right, so bro, you got 50-50 because you're away from the world. We know how the world is, but then I'm left with the chaos of the mind, so it's weird. So okay, so it seemed like you got a lot of chatter going on internally then, bro. Or mentally, I should say. Having both can protect your peace because one works and one works another, like communication and silence. Yes, to a degree, those moments of solitude. All right. So yes, because you can shield yourself from overexposing yourself, and no, because sometimes you need to be able to talk to others to express yourself. Yes and no, it depends on the quality of individuals' inner life and thoughts about themselves and the world around them. If you isolate yourself in a depressed state, it will hold you there. Yep. I believe it does because we are less likely to get the right. Yeah, being an introvert, like this whole quarantine thing, right up my alley. It's beautiful for me. But at the same time, play your part right in society. Yep. All right, so let me dive into my answer. My answer is a straight, flat out yes. It protects your peace. And I'm gonna go science on you. Like the first law, self-preservation. When I think of being an introvert, I think of self-preservation. I'm preserving self, I'm preserving my energy. And it's a lot of misunderstandings when it comes to what an actual introvert is. Being an introvert doesn't mean we don't necessarily talk. Again, we are selective in who we choose to communicate with and the environments in which we choose to communicate in. So being an introvert does not necessarily mean one doesn't talk, one doesn't know how to communicate. It just means we are very selective. And then if we get like 80 to 85% of the environments that we are going to encounter dealing with the world that we deal in, like that anxiety is going to increase. But if we get in the right environment, then you will see that we become very sociable. You will see that light start to shine. Yeah, it's keep to yourself to an extent. It's to an extent, and the reason why I say it's to an extent, because like I said, it depends on the environment. So like we real selective. Like you got some people that don't matter the environment, don't matter the room, like they stand out, they the life of the party. Well, introvert, it's got to be a certain type of party. And that certain type of party depends on the individual. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the people that know me, the people that have similar interests and thoughts as me, like you probably won't get me to shut up if we get to talking. But when I get amongst the masses, like I'm not in a rush to like prove my point. I'm not in a rush to be the life of the party, center of attention. Like I do not care about that. Like I don't need the spotlight on me. I actually prefer for it not to be on me. I'd rather be behind the scenes. But if called upon, like I can communicate and articulate my point if needed. I just will not volunteer it. So I'm going right to science. It's self-preservation. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the person, man. So if we in a room and we talking about, I mean, if I'm somewhere and I'm talking about fitness, obviously, that's what I do, then I can talk for hours about fitness, depending on the individuals that I'm conversing with. Because some people, like you ever been vibing with somebody and then 10 minutes into it, like you just don't feel them. And you just ready to move on from the conversation. So it also depends on the connection and the vibe you have with the people that you are interacting with. Yeah, I definitely do not need validation from anyone, anything outside of myself. That's another part of being like introverted. I seek no outside validation. I'm gonna do me regardless. Like, I mean, that's just what I'm going to do. And I really don't care like what people really think. And I'm not really out to like impress anyone. Like I know a lot of people that I'm gonna just go with intelligence. A lot of people look at me and they be like, I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to offer. So they want me to like talk more in certain environments and things of that nature. Well, I've always been that individual that I don't really care to demonstrate how intelligent I am. So I would just sit back and observe and let everybody else do the talking. So what has happened when you do that, especially growing up as a child doing that, a lot of people think you're dumb because you choose not to talk. Really don't understand that we being observant. I'm letting all these other fools talk and spit out the wrong information, the misinformation. I'm preserving myself for conversations that matter. I'm preserving my energy like I said, for everything else that matters, like again, me being sociable, it drains my energy. I need energy to function throughout the day. So whether I'm working out, whether I got like just even this live stream, whether I got to write, whatever I got to do, like that I embrace doing, like I got to preserve energy for that. If I spend all of my day socializing, then that energy is gone, is zapped out. So therefore, when it's time for me to be creative, I'm out. I'm out of energy. I'm zapped out because I done been socializing all day. So introversion to me preserves that energy for when I really need it. Because I mean, like people get drained working out and stuff like that. Like you a construction worker, you get drained doing that work. Like I get drained by talking to people consistently. Like it drains me to the point if I have to do that for 7 to 8 hours, like I don't even want to do anything after that because I have been talking all day. Like I'm literally drained to the point where I don't feel like doing anything. Yeah, and like I said, everything depends. Yeah, everything really depends. Like I'm real selective with the conversations that I choose to hop in. Like even if it's a conversation, like I said, if somebody is spitting out errors, like if I observe, which I do, and I analyze the individuals in the conversation, and I know and understand based off my observation that if I jump into this conversation and correct them, they won't listen anyway because they that type of person just based off of me examining the conversation, then I won't hop in it. If I'm examining the conversation, I feel like, all right, if I spit out and if I correct that misinformation, then they will probably listen to it. Then I will jump in. So that's why I just observe and I analyze and I examine. Like that's the foundation. That's what you got to do. Look, listen, observe. Yeah, man. Listen, me doing this podcast, me getting on you, like people have been suggesting that I do something like this for like 10 years. And every time I get started, I would just stop because it's just not me. So like, this is me. I'm getting out of my comfort zone, even doing this. People have been requesting that I do this for the longest. Yeah, observing is beautiful. Like when you just sit back and observe and say nothing, like the true colors will come out just based off of observation. Sometimes you don't even have to ask a question. You can just look, listen, and observe, and you will get all the answers that you need. As we say, do the knowledge. Like I tell people that all the time. When I'm in the room and I'm not saying anything, I'm scoping it out. I'm scoping it out. Like I'll be the one to spot the killer in the room because I'm looking at everybody, you know. Like I need to know who I'm in this room with. So I can't be distracted. Like I got to examine everybody in this room. I got to see the mannerisms. I got to see the body language. I got to see what's going on. So one thing about being an introvert, like we are real observant. That's internally and externally. And that's a trait that I really embrace, like just personally. Like I embrace that trait, just being an observant person. It keeps you out of a lot of trouble. Yeah, very observant. Like that's just what you have to do. And like you said, it just keep you out of a lot of trouble. It'll prevent you from making like bad decisions. Like people say, thou shalt not judge. I judge all the time. I judge environments. I judge people. I do that all the time. And that has saved my life. So I'm not one of those individuals that will say, thou shalt not judge. No. That has nothing to do with my belief system. I'm judging. I'm judging environments and I'm judging people. Like, forget that. I'm very judgmental. Like, I'm judging minds. I'm judging actions. I'm doing all of that. I'm judging your mental. So if you come across a certain way, like I'm gonna judge you based off how you come across. I appreciate that classic drip, Rob. Yeah, and that's what you got to do. Like if I'm sitting back which I've done plenty of times. And, you know, we conversing, like I'm in judgment mode. And if I really do not like the vibe, I'm tuning you out. I'm zoning out quickly. Yeah, discernment is crucial. Like I embrace that. Like you will never hear me say thou shalt not judge. Never. Thou shalt judge. And I'm not saying judge a book by its cover type deal. I'm talking about, again, you interacted with somebody and you just paying attention to kind of like what they're doing, what they're saying, things of that nature, body language. Like you could tell a lot from that. You can tell a lot by one's ways and actions. You know, as they say, actions speak louder than words. So when you observe one's actions, like you can learn a lot just by observing. So that's why I say you sit back, look, listen, and observe. Like that's crucial. Key aspects. Everybody is always judging. Like people want to act like that's something that they don't do. My philosophy is everyone judges. I mean, if you, for the most part, we all got like inner cities. Like if you driving in that inner city, like you already got this preconceived notion that this may be a bad neighborhood to be in, and you know absolutely nobody in the neighborhood. But you are already in fear of it just based off of like what you have heard about it. So we always judging. We always judge. I mean, people swear up and down they don't do it. We do it. I would say the major con of being introverted is I'm gonna just go with loved ones on that case. Sometimes you may not communicate how you truly feel to loved ones. And sometimes it may get to the point where it's too late. Like they may pass and you may not have truly expressed how you felt about them while they were here. So sometimes being introverted can get in the way of like expressing your true feelings because sometimes you just may not know how to do it. So I can speak from that. I can speak on that from experience. Just being introverted, it's people that have passed in my life that I was not able to communicate how I felt about them while they were here. So that's my con in regards to being introverted, just communicating feelings to individuals while they're here. Like I'm one of those ones that like I'm not verbal, but like my actions speak louder than my words type deal. But sometimes people need to hear those words. So like that's a big con for me. Like I'm not gonna volunteer a lot of like verbal conversations and verbal feelings with people. So that can be a detriment. Because like I said, when it's too late and the person's not here, then there's really nothing you can do at that point. Yeah, I don't tolerate ignorance at all. And like I said, with being introverted, protecting my peace, like I feel like that's a thing. I feel like that's something that it keeps me from. It's like ignorance. Because I'm able to shut off and like just zone out real quickly. Like I don't tolerate a lot of nonsense. And like I said, with being selective, like that's helpful with that. Yeah, it's definitely different classes of being introverted. That's why I ask people kind of like how to define their perspective of being introverted. Like my big definition of yeah, my yeah, a lot of people get on me about facial expressions, but yeah, my definition, my core definition of being introverted is like just selective. It's being real selective. Because like I said, I can get down in conversations with the best of them depending on the environment and the topic and subject matter and the people. Yeah, my tolerance is like real short. when it comes to like ignorance and just like negativity. Like, just come on, man. Like, it's not even like, if you be negative around me, like I may snap real quick. Like, we don't have time for that. Yeah, I haven't practiced in the mirror for my facial expressions, but like yeah, it is what it is at this point. People just gonna have to be offended by my facial expressions because I don't have time for the nonsense. I get the I look mean all the time, and I'll be perfectly fine. Like, I got that when I was a child. Everybody be like, "So what's wrong? What's the matter with you? What's wrong?" I was like, "Man, what y'all talking about?" They like, "You look like you mad," and I'm like, "Man, I'm good." Like, I can look like I will have that type of facial expression where it looks like I'm upset. I'm upset, but I'm in a perfectly calm mood. Like, nothing is wrong. Yeah, yeah. I don't think anybody want to tell me relax my face. Like, nah. Classic Drip Rob, what do you mean by an energy person? Yeah, that negativity, I can't tolerate it. Cannot tolerate it. So that's why it gets draining for me, because dealing with the masses, dealing with the outside world, large percentage of them are like negative. And a lot of people, again, nobody truly cares about you. Everybody cares about themselves at the end of the day. So a lot of times when I'm interacting with other people, like, they just throwing their problems on me. Like, and I don't want to hear that. I'm like, I got stuff to deal with on my own. So like, I don't want to hear about your problems. And a lot of times when I'm conversing with other people, like, that's all I'm getting is their problems, their negativity. Like, that's just negative energy that I don't really care to absorb at that point. So like, you can keep that away from me. Like, it's a very negative world that we live in. Like, 9 out of the 10 people that you're gonna come across is gonna be like some problem, some negativity that they coming to you with. The best advice I would give introverts as far as interacting and approaching introverted people is, do not force it. Do not the worst thing that you can try to do is change an introvert. Do not strive to force an introvert to get out of their comfort zone and to just talk. You got to let it unfold. You got to give that introvert space and just respect them, because in due time, like, they will get comfortable to the point where they will come to you when it's something serious and they need to communicate with you. You just got to give that person space and respect. Don't force anything on an introvert. Accept that introvert for who and what they are and just give them space. Yeah, people see me, well, it's just my hair, but people think I'm always high, or at least I got the drugs on me. You can either let the introvert come to you, or you can meet that introvert in their comfort zone, which is what I said, that would depend on like the introvert, because all introverts, they have things that they are passionate about, things that they are interested in. They have zones. We all have zones. So like, we just not introverted all the time anywhere. Like, it's certain environments that's going to trigger an introvert to come out of that shell. So if you really want that introvert to communicate with you, then you got to meet them in that environment that will like activate that social aspect within them. So like, if somebody isn't, because I would go back to science, because I've met like a lot of science teachers and whatnot, and a lot of them are kind of like socially awkward and like introverted. So if you with somebody and they into science, they into like physics or something. So it's like, if you want them to really communicate, you want them to open up to you, like, do scientific things with them, like loosen them up. Yeah, I control the face. It is what it is at this point. You would just have to be offended. Yeah, I get that all the time. Before they actually talk to me, they was afraid to approach me. I get that all the time. Yeah, that's silence. Silence says a lot. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I think sometimes silence is worth 1,000 words as well. Like that silence can speak volumes. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, judging the, yeah, if I got judged based off my facial expressions, yeah, I would probably be the meanest individual on this planet because I'm not one to smile consistently. Like I just don't do it. Don't mean that I'm not at peace. Don't mean that I'm not happy. I'm not about to just smile all the time. Like that's just not who I am. And like I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I don't see anything wrong with it at all. And that even, like I even want to touch on that. A lot of people have flat out said that they feel like being an introvert is like unnatural, and I highly like disagree with that. Like I highly disagree with being an introvert as being unnatural. Like I said, self-preservation. Yeah, like I said, when you get around like-minded people as an introvert, like you're gonna appear to be an extrovert. And to go back to double back on that question about the am I an energy person? Basically, you said you feel the energy of a person and evaluate the person's quality of life. I mean, if you want to say I'm vibing off of their energy, then you can. I basically look at it like I said, just observing their ways and actions and mannerisms and things of that nature. So I go based off of that, which it doesn't take long for people to reveal themselves in like a conversation to you. Yeah, I for real. It some of the funniest stuff that I've heard. Like I may laugh for like a split second, and then it's like it's back to being serious or serious, as people think. I would say guard your heart and guard your mind. Treat it holistically. Guard it all. Guard yourself. Yeah, I really it's crazy. It's crazy, but like the more you love yourself, like I'm glad you said that. The more you love yourself, it seems like the more people shy away from you. Like self-love scares people, it seems. You know what, classic grit Rob? I used to people speak what's in their hearts, but like I'm under the impression that there is no difference between the heart and the mind at this point. Like I feel like people speak what's on their minds as well. A lot of people just don't think. Like a lot of people's minds are not orderly. So a lot of people just speak holistically. Like that's truly how they feel. A lot of people do not think before they speak. And we attribute that to just being emotional or speaking from the heart and things of that nature. Like, nah, I treat it holistically. Like Elijah Muhammad said, think like 5 times before you speak. Like people just don't do that. And the mind has been so processed that like it's crazy. Yeah, a large portion of the population, like self-love does not exist within them. And it's sad. So when they see someone that is capable of loving themselves, like they despise it. Yeah, people do not think at all. They do not. Everybody is programmed. So even people that feel like they are thinking on their own, like they have been influenced by something outside of themselves. So like critical thinking is a true art form and it's lost. Yeah, those people that do that, man, they got some deeper underlying issues internally. Like, what's the point of like speaking over people? Like the times where I do stuff like that, like I'm in balance, I'm out of balance, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm irritated. So when it gets to that point, like I'm not saying nothing at all. Like I'm just being loud because I'm upset. So it's something deep going on internally when there's somebody like that that won't let anybody else speak. And that's another thing too. People have like the art of listening is lost. People truly do not listen. They just wait for you to get done to respond. Like people truly don't let what you say resonate. They just waiting for you to finish. All right, when he get done, I'm finna say this. Yeah, common sense is not so common as they say. And that's another thing about just introversion as well. Like I feel like just being introverted, like I feel like I'm really in tune with myself. Like I really listen internally. And I feel like that comes from me being introverted, not being as sociable. So a lot of times, like I'm looking within instead of seeking something without. So I feel like just being introverted, I mean, you see the root there, like the prefix intro, like introspection. So I feel like being introverted causes me to seek something inside first all the time. Like I'm really in tune with myself. Like I know and understand my triggers and all that type of stuff. Like I know what gets me irritated. I know what gets me angry. I know what can cause this feeling. Like even as far as foods that I eat, like I know what made me feel some type of way. All of that because I'm real in tune. Like I don't really need to distract myself with the outside world. I'm able to sit, look inside, and be satisfied. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people run from that. Even if it's something that appears to be negative, like I'm fine with that. If I look internally and I see something that's negative internally, like I'm cool with it. I accept that, I embrace it because it's not permanent. So a lot of people run from that negativity, that negative or that dark side of themselves. Like I don't do that. Like I don't do that at all. I embrace it. I embrace positive, negative. Like I embrace bad, good. I embrace it all because like I said, it's not permanent. It will come and go. And just being an introvert has caused me to be that type of person. Yeah, it's the phone age has killed a lot of communication. People miss out on a lot of jewels simply because they're not paying attention to the speaker because they so involved in the phone. Like I've seen that just working at a bank. I have seen that countless times, especially amongst the younger generation. I mean, you can be dropping jewels on this young cat, man, and they not even listening. I mean, that's the law of physics, man. Like you cannot focus on two things at the same time. You can only rapidly shift your focus. And when you do that, the quality of the message is low. So it's not resonating how it needs to resonate. You need to give stuff your undivided full attention for it to fully resonate. All this, man, they know secure the bag, but it's like they don't even do that. Like they just rap it. Like they just rap about securing the bag, or they just talk about it. They don't even do that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like that can get disrespectful too. I mean, especially if somebody is really like engaging in this conversation and really trying to like express a certain piece of information to you. Like they need your undivided attention. Like I feel like that's a lost art, man. Like whatever happened to undivided attention? Like somebody talking to you and you are just listening, not being distracted because again, you can I mean that's just distorting the quality of like the message. Yeah, the mainstream music is just all bad, man. Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you want to call it the lower self, however you want to phrase it, I look at them as one and the same. I mean, we are like none of us are perfect, so who was I to look at her and be like, oh, she's this way or something? Like I wasn't operating at a high level like when I met her myself. Like we all got flaws, we all got imperfections and things of that nature. So I'm not about to beat somebody over the head. if I meet them and they not up to this high standard, like, nah, I always judge myself first. Yeah, that eye contact is key. That's something I'm working on as well. Like, that's part of my introversion where I slack off at the eye contact, but I'm working on that. Man, you listen to the song by, I can't remember the last song I ever heard that had Future on it. I do not listen to Dude. I know there's some people that fool with him. I just don't. So I can't even remember the last song I heard with Dude on it. Like, I tried to listen to that guy when he first came out, and I understood absolutely nothing. Wasn't my cup of tea, so I did not fool with it again. Selective. Like, if it don't add value to me immediately, or if it's not something that I can fool with, move on. So it's a lot of good input on here, man. So what I was doing with this episode, I just wanted to get a lot of feedback from y'all. And it seems like the answer is a resounding yes, that being an introvert definitely protects your peace. But it also depends on the individual. And it depends on the internal environment of that said individual, which I can agree with. Like I was saying earlier, being an introvert, it protects my peace because it forces me to be selective. It allows me to like observe, analyze, examine, and make judgments of a situation before I like act on it. As we say, I do the knowledge to things before I like speak, and before I act, and before I make a move, so it's not really impulsive. So being an introvert, it causes that. Like, it has kept me out of a lot of like just bad like relationships with individuals. I feel like it's real peaceful. I feel like being an introvert is real peaceful because when you keep your inner circle small, like, you don't really have to worry about a lot of individuals. So if my inner circle is large, it consists of like 100 people. Like, that's stressful having to worry about 100 people. Opposed to if I got like 5 people in my inner circle that I have to worry about, like, that's less stressful. That's less energy that I have to distribute in regards to like me being concerned. It's highly impossible to be concerned about that many people. So I don't have to keep my circle large. I prefer a smaller circle, and I feel like being introverted like forces me to do that, and I'm satisfied with that. So that's another reason why I feel like it protects my peace, because I don't socialize with a lot of people in regards to like friendships and things of that nature. I don't just consider anybody a friend. Like, I don't even really deal with friends. Like, if I let you in, you family. And that's a strong title. So not anybody's going to get that title. So you either family or I don't associate with you. And it's just that simple. Like, even the people I train, like from a fitness perspective, that's my family. Like, that's my family. Oh, I listen, man. I mean, the music I listen to is diverse. Like, I listen to like jazz, a lot of hip hop, conscious hip hop, to like hip hop from the 90s. Like, that's just my favorite form of hip hop, like that 90s hip hop. R&B, of course, blues. I throw in some reggae from time to time. You know what's crazy about like meditation? Like, I'm getting into it now, but it's like not something that I consistently practice. I used to do it back in the day, but like now I don't consistently practice it, but I'm getting back on that actually. I'm getting back on it. Toxic family, should you deal with them? See, that's somebody was asking me that recently because they had a situation where they was dealing with like an ex or something that was spreading lies and had his family members believe in it, and they started cutting him off based off of the lies that his ex was giving him, and that's crazy. With that, I mean, as messed up as it may sound, I would say do not deal with the toxic family members like that. I mean, at the end of the day, we are all individuals. Like, you cannot force a family member to see things a certain way. I mean, you want them to, but you cannot force it to happen. So it's like, why waste time striving to do that? It's just like me eating healthy. Like, I can't force everybody in my family to eat healthy. And if I spent all my time stressing over that, like stressing over trying to get them to eat healthy, like I would kill myself. Like that'd be a slow death or probably a fast death, just stressing myself out. Like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So it's like with them toxic family members, man, you just got to stay away because that will consume you and it will negatively impact you. So you got to protect your peace even from family members. You just have to do it. Affirmations, like that's what I do. I start off my mornings with an affirmation. Like auto suggestion is the book that I got it out of. So I start my mornings with that. Then before I go to sleep, got to repeat the same affirmation. So I definitely do that. But now I'm adding, you know, some stretching in there. And I'm about to throw meditation back in the mix. Yeah, so the toxic family members, like, no, don't waste the energy. Do not waste the energy trying to change a family member. And I don't blame it. If I'm not learning anything new, I may walk off the set. Like I value, yeah, I train virtually. I definitely train virtually. Yeah, I almost forgot I did the affirmation video, but yeah, I'm gonna do plenty more of those, especially dealing with like the subconscious mind and how to program it. Like I got a lot of cool information on how to program the subconscious mind to get what you want out of life. Like to me, that's like the key. It's like the key to life, to program in that subconscious mind. Because a lot of things, most of the things that we do it unconsciously. So you need to program that aspect of yourself if you really want to achieve what you want to achieve out of life. So I feel like the subconscious mind, like that part of your life, the subconscious aspect of self is the key to success, like programming it. I feel like we look at things on that surface level too much. Like look beyond that surface. That's the key. But yeah, Montel, I don't know if you're on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, you can follow me on there, like at Almighty Vegan. And then you can DM me about that training. Yeah, the way to master it, repetition. So the thing that I'm understanding about everything in life, like if we talking mastery, we are talking repetition. In order to master it, you got to do it repeatedly. Like it's just that simple. So it's just really that simple, and that's what I'm applying to my life. I would say I'm on the same plane as everybody else. I may be on an even lower plane. Like I'm just striving. I'm just striving to be a better person, like prove myself, self-development, things of that nature. I'm always learning. I realize the more that I learn, the more that I don't know, and the more that I need to learn. Oh man, I've been a vegetarian for like it's almost going on about 10 years. And I was on and off with like vegan, vegetarian. So like I would always shift between the two. But now I'm back on the vegan train, and I'm pretty much gonna stay on that. And I'm creating kind of like my own lifestyle as far as like nutrition goes. I'm working on something big. So I've been doing the knowledge to a lot of like superfoods and just a lot of different ways to eat. And I feel like I'm coming across like the super diet, like the way that we truly need to eat if we're trying to like reverse like what I'm about to do. Because I was texting my homeboy, and what I told him, I was like, man, I'm about to show y'all how to reverse the aging process. Like this year, I'm turning 30. Like I'm about to show people how to like age backwards. Like I'm gonna get better with time. So as I go up, I'm gonna just get better. And I feel like I got a lot of like solid info in regards to how to instruct someone to do that. Because when I tell people I'm about to be 30, a lot of people don't necessarily believe me. So I'm gonna show people, like, my goal is to show people how to reverse the aging process. And I got a lot of answers. Like, I've been doing the knowledge to a lot of things. Now, I've never smoked, fam. And I got a lot of videos coming in regards to like nutrition and just fitness and things of that nature. Like next week, I'm gonna definitely be talking about something from a fitness or a nutritional perspective. Yeah, a lot of people, man, a lot of people, like, my hair wasn't so long. Like, I mean, that's kind of like a giveaway. I've had this hair for a long time. People just look at me based off my hair and feel like I'm like mid to late 20s. But if I didn't have this, like, I'd probably be in trouble as far as how old people think that I actually am. But when I tell people I'm about to be 30, a lot of people do not believe me. Yeah, always evolving. I'm big on evolution. Like, only the strong survive. Like, you got to be strong out here. You got to be strong. You got to be able to adapt and adjust to your environment. If not, you will die off. So I'm real big on evolution. I'm real big on evolving and embracing that. But yeah, the smoker, yeah, I've never had the urge to smoke. Never, I don't drink, none of that. I do absolutely none of those things. And like, again, like, I just want to kind of venture off topic for a minute here, just with this podcast. So I'm gonna be dealing a lot with that. So like I said, every other week, I'm gonna be talking about something from a nutritional perspective or a fitness perspective. And then the next week, I'm gonna be dealing with something like that targets like mental health or like the mind. So that's just kind of like my balance. As people know, like, I'm a certified personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach. But I feel like you cannot have that without first building like a solid mindset. Like, I feel like everything starts within the mind. So I never want to just get on here and just talk about fitness. Like, you need to eat this, you need to work out this many times a week, and just totally neglect one's mental health, one's mind state, one's brain health. No, they go hand in hand. So I feel like if I'm gonna do a podcast, then I gotta continuously give you instructions on how to kind of improve the mind, or give you a platform to where you can kind of express yourself, like this one. This was a platform, like this episode gave you the ability to kind of express yourself from an introversion perspective or an introverted perspective. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had a haircut or anything like that. Yeah, I'm the fitness doctor. That's what I'm striving to be. Like, I looked at it, you know, I study people like Dr. Sebi and things of that nature. So I said, why not me? Why not create a lifestyle? I mean, that's what we supposed to do. We supposed to go back and look at the teachings of like our ancestors, and we are supposed to improve upon those. As we call it, self-styled wisdom. We got to be original and authentic. So I'm gonna create a lifestyle of my own that I feel like is gonna be a game changer. Like, it's gonna be a real game changer. Like I said, I'm doing like the knowledge heavy. Like right now, I'm reading this book called The Raw Cure, Healing Beyond Medicine, like a bunch of Jews in that book. So I've been just consuming a lot of information. And like I said, next week, it really ain't no telling what I may talk about. I may talk about what you need to do to reverse diabetes or something like that. Like, I'm about to touch on some real deep health topics, which of course, that's not going to make certain establishments happy, but it is what it is. We got a virus out here that's running rampant, and people act like we need a vaccine to cure us of it. All we got to do is change the way that we eat and think. It's that simple. I'm immune from the virus just based off of what I consume. Like, I'm not worried about a coronavirus, man. I'm not worried about a COVID-19. Now, my condolences to the people that have lost loved ones from this virus, but like, at the end of the day, I'm not worried about it because I'm gonna take care of myself internally and as well as externally. Yeah, you got to go back to that vegan lifestyle, bro. Got to go back to it. Exactly. You're supposed to take that ancient wisdom, combine it with that new wisdom, and now you got something that's original and authentic. That is how we are supposed to operate. We don't want to operate the same way that they did. Like you always, that's science. Like science is telling you, you should always strive to like just improve the model that was here before you. And that's the mission. That's the mission. Hopefully I get everybody on board to this almighty lifestyle that I'm creating. Yeah, I'm into martial arts. I really need somebody to teach me. And man, I've been trying to learn martial arts since I was like 9 or 8. I had took a class, I took one class, but I was too old for the class, so I got kicked out of it. Like I wanted to learn Bruce Lee's form, Jeet Kune Do. Like I really wanted to learn that. But like in another world, I'm like a monk. That's like a master martial artist, like just a monk. That's just me in another life. I'm the lock monk, the monk with locks. Yeah, you don't say much, but when you do, it's to the point. I salute you for it. It's funny that you say that because I made a lot of like YouTube videos and a lot of Instagram videos. They was like short but very impactful, and people just appreciated that. I mean, they appreciate it. I make like a 2-minute video and just get right to the point. People love it. And it was like, man, I didn't have to wait 30 minutes until you got to the point, got right to it. Like I'm that type of person. I'm not about to sit here and bore you with all this jargon that you may not understand. Like I'm gonna tell you straight off the rip. Like if you want to improve your brain health, eat blueberries. I'm not about to tell you what the blueberries contain. Just do that. You will find out. I trust that you would be the person that would look up what I'm saying, but like I'm gonna get straight to the point because I need you to take action. Like I don't want to lose you because I know the age in which we live in. Like I only have X amount of seconds to like grab your attention. So like I'm not wasting time with it. I'm gonna get straight to that point. You suffering from brain issues, mental issues, eat these blueberries. Point blank, period. Like you heard that resonated. I'm not about to break down why it is that you may have these mental issues, why your brain health may be that way. I don't have that time. Now, if I tell you to eat the blueberries and you come back with questions, then I can explain it. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Like that's my philosophy. I live and die by that. I keep it simple, stupid, straight to the point. Straight to the point, man. I could probably break down like a complicated subject in like less than 2 or 3 minutes because like if I'm talking more than 5 minutes, then I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I'm just babbling at that point. So like I said, like every other week, like I'm balancing, I'm just rotating. So you're gonna hear me talk about something from a health and fitness perspective one week, then the next week we're dealing with some more related to kind of like mental health or the mind. Like it's that balance of life, and I feel like it's very necessary. Like you can't have one without the other. So I'm not about to sit here and preach to you on what you need to be eating to lose weight, to reverse diabetes and reverse cancer. Yet your mind state is toxic and negative. It's counterproductive because that mind state affects the quality of the foods that you consume. So my hour is up, y'all. So like I said, next week, the topic is going to be something nutritionally related or fitness related. I don't know what it is just yet. I'll probably know by midweek. So this has been a nice discussion. I will see you all next Saturday, same time, 3:30 Central. It's been real, y'all. Peace. Build and destroy.